Hello, everyone. My name is Avery, and I'll be your teacher for today. So now we're going to learn about imagery. Imagery is a concept in English that is not too difficult to explain. It occurs in pieces of writing. Imagery is a type of figurative language that awakens the reader's senses. The senses are sight, touch, hearing, smell, and taste. In English, the basic forms of words that we know have a literary term. Now, these senses have literary terms too, and they are all part of imagery. Let me start with sight. The literary term is visual imagery. So, for example, there was a bright red apple placed on the white table. So when you read the sentence, it made you think of this, right? So describing the apple in colors and its brightness made you imagine this. This is the use of visual imagery, to make you visualize a piece of writing in your head. Now let's move on to touch. The literary term for touch is tactile imagery. So for example, the soft fur of the kitten brushed against my skin. So take a few seconds and imagine. And ta-da! This is what you thought of, right? So when the softness of the fur was described, it made you think of this. Therefore, tactile imagery is used to describe touch, whether it's rough or soft. Now let's learn about hearing. The literary term here is auditory imagery. Let me give a sentence. I heard the ambulance sirens wail across the city. So it made you think of something like this. You see, the way I described the sound of the siren made you think of the loud sound coming from it. So auditory imagery is used to describe sound. Now, let's move on to smell. The literary term for smell is olfactory imagery. It's time for the sentence. The fresh aroma of the flowers lured me in. So this sentence made you think of this, right? This is a pink flower, but what you thought of could be any flower. But what I am saying is that it made you think of a fresh, beautiful, luring flower whose scent lured you in. So, olfactory imagery is used to describe smell. Yay! We've come to the last topic of the day, taste. The literary term for taste is gustatory imagery. Now it's the final sentence time. The sweet flavor of the vanilla ice cream melted in my mouth. So, are you ready? It made you think of this. So the way I talked about the flavor of the ice cream and how it melted into my mouth made you think of this. Hence, gustatory imagery is used to describe taste. I want to stay more and talk, but my job here is done. Bye, everyone. But don't worry, we'll meet in part 2 of this episode where we'll be going around the school to spot imagery.